Hello everyone, it is time for a monthly residential market update. I want to come to you with a real quick update where I'm just going to give you a general. I'm not going to go county by county through this market update, but I am going to give you some really good nuggets on our current market and what is going on. So we're getting more of the same in the DFW Metroplex, where we're seeing homes sit longer. We're seeing less transactions year over year, and which comes off of a year that was already really slow, going back all the way at least 10 years, breaking records last year. So from a transactional standpoint, real estate has kind of come to an halt, commercial and residential. Transactions are still happening, people are still moving, people are still selling their homes and still buying homes. But relative to what we've done in a normal market, much less when we had a really good market, transactions have relatively halted. And so if you're a seller right now, you're wondering, why is my house still on the market? I'm not getting any showings. And if you're a buyer, you're just tired of the high prices and nobody's taking your offers. If you're making lower offers like I had advised everybody to do in the last month's market update, and I still advise you to do if you're a buyer, make the offer at what is affordable to you. Affordability is our issue. Affordability is why the housing market is come to a stop, because people are, 70% of America has a below 4% interest rate or around that amount. And whenever that happens, they don't have to make a move and move to something that it's 7% and they're going to have to pay more for it. So ultimately, Mr. Buyer, I still advise that. I want to reiterate, make the offer at what is affordable to you, because ultimately you dictate the price, not the seller. I know the sellers don't want to hear that right now, but any market that you're in, a ready and willing buyer is what the actual market price is for any product you sell. We just happen to sell homes. So I want to continue to encourage you to do that. But let me give you kind of the latest news on our current DFW market. We are seeing inventories rise and we're seeing month supply rise. And what that means is that we are on the month supply. That is a measurement of whether you're in a seller's market, buyer's market, or balanced market. We're right now showing in some areas 6 months supply, and some we're still at 3. Well, between 4 to 6, you're in a balance balance. 4 to 6 is balance. 6 plus is a buyer's market. And so in some areas, you're getting close to a buyer's market is what you would think. But the issue is the measurement of month supply. So you'll hear people say you're in a buyer's market or you're in a balanced market. Well, it's not a normal balanced market or buyer's market, because you have fewer transactions that are giving you that measurement. So month supply is a snapshot of how many transactions in 3 months. How long does it take to move the inventory, the current inventory on the market? And so if it takes 3 months to move 100 homes, you have 3 months inventory. If it takes 5 months to move 100 homes, you have 5 months inventory. Well, if your inventory is low, and that is the issue, is that, if your transactions are low, then that's your issue. You're not moving much product, but you still have low inventory from a normal market. you don't have this excessive inventory that you typically have in a balance or in working your way into a buyer's market. So that was kind of a complicated explanation to help you understand that yes, in some markets it shows we're in a balanced market, but the reality is it's kind of skewed because there's not many transactions transacting, so it messes with the measurement of the balanced market, what it typically shows. So, but it is a good indicator. We are seeing more inventory, and that is the good news. For buyers, that is good news. For sellers, not so much good news. So what happens in a market cycle is that you start in the seller's market, then you go to a balanced market, and then you go to a buyer's market. And what creates that shift is inventory. And so when the inventory rises, the next step is prices fall. And so the biggest news lately is the last 3 months in DFW, inventories have rose year over year 30%. And what that sends a big signal to is that affordability may be around the corner for the buyer. And seller, just so you know, there's a good chance that prices could drop over the next upcoming months because when inventories rise, prices fall. That's just a natural market cycle. Even though we have still 400, 500 people moving to the Metroplex, the market, the consumer has said enough is enough. 7% interest rates, even though they've come down some, we're seeing some 6s now. And the increase in prices is not what I'm going to buy it at. That's how the market cycle happens. And then the inventories rise, and then prices fall to the place where affordability kicks in. The good news for the seller is that DFW is a very strong buyer. You still have a buyer there. In a normal market shift, when you're going into a great recession or whatever, there's not a buyer there, and so that price just goes da-da-da-da. Well, there is a buyer there at a reasonable price, and that's the good news for you, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller. So prices are basically flat year over year, so no prices are falling really at this stage, even with 3 months of 30+% inventory rising. But any market analyst, economist would tell you the next step is that prices are going to fall. I don't think it's going to be something like what we've seen in the Great Recession because demand is still there. It just has to be affordable and at a reasonable price that makes sense for both. Good news for you, Mr. Seller, is you're likely moving and you're going to be able to benefit from that on the buy side. So that's my general quick market update. We'd love to serve you here at M&D Real Estate. We're a full service firm. We do residential, property management, and commercial, and have nothing but 5 stars and want to give you a 5-star service. So please reach out to us if you need any help with real estate. Have a great day. Bye-bye.